Hello and welcome to another video for Zombie Cleo. In one of her recent Hermitcraft episodes, she was having difficulty getting one zombie out from a spawner to try and recruit them for the Hermiton Herald. So I offered to show her how I'd done it on the patron server, but then I realised that of course we're in 1.8 there, and some of the stuff that I was doing wouldn't work in 1.9, and in addition to that it's a bit difficult to show without taking it all apart again. So I've mocked up over here a spawner underground, and I'll show you how I would go about converting this into a recruiting station. Right, the first thing I'm going to need to do is to open this up to a 9x9 area. So count out 4 blocks on each side. Obviously I'm doing this in creative. You'd take a lot more to do this in survival. Let's do that. Right, next thing we're going to want to do is to dig out a passageway around behind the walls. So if we start off by going in 2 blocks on each side, and then count off 6 blocks in either direction, and then repeat it on the other 3 sides. Right, next thing we want to do is place a torch in each of these entrances. Those 4 torches will be sufficient to light up the whole room, or the whole of the spawning area. So we can then remove all the other torches in here, and these are going to be easy to knock out when we want to start using the spawner. Now we need to go down an extra 3 blocks, but before we do that we want to place some blocks on top of the spawner to stop any zombies from spawning on top of it and just standing there. We want them to only spawn where they're going to fall down into water streams below. So next is to take out the floor down 3 levels. Right, now in the wall, on the floor opposite where you want the recruiting room to be, we need to place down 2 buckets of water in the far corners. So that's one over here and one over here. And then we look at where the water extends to, and we take out the floor 1 block lower down. Then in the middle of the wall opposite here, we're going to want to cut out a doorway 3 high. We could probably do with 2 high, but with the zombies bobbing up and down in the water, it makes it easier for them to get in if it's 3 high. We can then knock out the blocks under the edge of the water. Like that. And we should now have streams of water continuous from back corners across into here. We can now start digging this further out. So we go back 2, and then that'll run out of water again. So we're going to have to go down another level, and then what we need to do, 3 high still, is make a corner. So we come across this way, and then we can come back this way. And this is where the recruiting room is going to be. Stick a torch in there for the moment. On this wall, we need to place a trapdoor there so that the water can flow underneath. And we can take out that block there, and the water should go round the corner. So when the gate is open, trapdoor rather, is open, the zombies will be able to wash through. And actually we will need to also drop the ceiling down at that point. So what should happen is the zombies will be washed down the stream here. The water stream will push them up against the trapdoor, but they won't be able to come any further. And we'll then be able to open the trapdoor briefly and let one zombie through at a time. I'm actually going to come back through here and drop the ceiling down on that side too, just so that the zombies aren't able to climb up onto the trapdoor. Right, now we want to make the receiving room for them, or the interview room, shall we say. So we're going to need to break this open. I'm going to put a block there to stop the water from coming through, and then dig out a little room here. Right, now around this exit here from the spawner, we need to make a area for the zombies to come into, where we can check them out to see whether they're what we want. We're going to want a stone slab on the floor for them to stand on, and probably put some glass around it. So we'll have a slab there. Glass up either side. We will need to break that out again to give them space to come up onto here. Now I'm going to have a water elevator here, so I'm going to want to have let's see, dispenser on this side, with a water bucket in it. And then we also want to have a gap this side, so that we can interview the zombies to find out if they're what we want. Any baby zombies will be able to get out of here, but then they'll also be able to get under the trapdoor, theoretically anyway. Right, so we also want to put a sign. Signs here to stop the water from coming down, and another one over there. Let's stick it on the back wall. And now if I grab a button, and place it on there, then we can put water out and remove it. The idea is that, taking that out now, a couple of torches up in here, the zombies will get washed through there one at a time. That's not, is it? No. And they'll come up onto the slab here. You can then check to see whether they are what you want. If they're a zombie villager, if that's what you're looking for, or if they're a zombie that can pick up items. If they're not, you just have to kill them. If they are, then you'll use the water elevator to take them up to the surface. Next thing we need is to set up the mechanism to open and close the gate with trapdoor, which I've just broken. Let's see if I can put it back. good reach with the creative mode. So we can go back. How far back do we need to be? 3 blocks. So the trapdoor should be on the other side of this block here. What we need is a pulse limiter. So what we do is we put a sticky piston here, facing upwards. Facing upwards, I said, with a block on top of it. And then we can bring the blocks back this way. We need a take it back. Need a repeater that way going into the block with the trapdoor, and then going back this way we want a spot of redstone on there, and then we'll have a button on here. Now when I press the button, that block will get powered very briefly, if I've done it right, which just makes the trapdoor flip open and closed. And that should just be long enough for one zombie to come through. Let's just stick a torch in there so that we don't get any spawns, and we can close the wall up. Right, all that remains now is to make the tube up to the surface and to turn off the torches. So what I'm going to do is come in here, place that glass, and then knock out a couple of blocks up. We'll need some water. And signs. And what we want to do is to place a sign and then a water bucket. And then, oh, I can't get to this, can I now? Temporary button. Just turn that on. And then we can swim up. Place a sign. Break a couple more blocks. Place down water, which allows us to swim up further. Sorry about the lack of light. And repeat the process, and that will bring us up to the surface here. So now we want to go back down and take out the torches that are lighting this up. Also need obviously to make a access to the room. There we are. From here you need to go across a couple of blocks and then step down, and that should bring you into the corner. Don't know why I missed it before. I probably went underneath it. Now what you can do, now you've got this entrance into the ring here, is you can just go round and knock out these torches around the sides. See, immediately we've got zombies spawning. There we go. Then we go down here, and they should now be stacking up behind that trapdoor. You can see there's one there. Hit the button, and one should be allowed through. Oh, I've got the water turned on. Turn it off. Wait for another zombie to come through. Actually, that might still be a bit lit up. Don't block all the entrances. Didn't block this up, did I? There we are. So now you've got zombies queuing up in there. You can see there's a couple. If I hit the button, only one comes through. Comes and stands on the slab. You can interview him, throw objects at him, see if he's going to pick them up. If not, you can take your diamond sword and get rid of that candidate. Hit the button again, get another zombie through. Anyway, assuming that you've got one that you want, you'd then hit the button to bring the water out. He goes up to the surface, and then hit the button again to take the water away, and he'd be up the top. Of course, we've got two up here at the moment, bobbing around in the water. Oh, yeah, have we got two? Oh, I left the block out, didn't I? Yes, we've got two in there. There we go. So you then transport them from there to wherever you want them. One last thing. If you want this to be turned off, or if you want to be able to turn this off rather, what you can do is where we had the torches originally, you can place a redstone lamp. So that's at the centre of each of the walls. And then run redstone and repeaters around from where you've got your entrance coming down here. So this is going to be slightly awkward. We'll take that out. We need a block next to each lamp. And then redstone running along here. And then we can work backwards, placing a block by each lamp with the repeater behind it. So we get back to here, and then we can just have a lever on this block. Repeater, a lever, which can just be used to then turn those lamps on, which will stop the spawns inside here. Right, there we go. Quick and dirty, well, quick and simple, shall we say, rather than dirty. Still works for 1.9. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.